You know that moment, right? You're in a meeting, everything's going fine, and then suddenly your boss turns to you and asks, "So, what do you think?" That feeling, your heart starts pounding, your mind just goes completely blank. It's a pretty universal fear. But here's the thing, there's a framework to not just survive those moments, but to actually own them. To see what I mean, let's start with a quick little brain puzzle. Okay, take a look at the screen. Your task is really simple. Just count the number of times the letter F appears in the sentence I'm about to show you. Ready? All right, I'll give you a second. Read it through, count them up. So what'd you get? 3? Maybe 4? If so, that's what most people see at first glance. The answer is actually 6. Now, if you missed a few, hey, you are not alone. Most of our brains are hardwired to just skip right over unimportant little words like of. Under pressure, our minds automatically filter out what seems like the small stuff. And this is the exact same trap we fall into when we're asked to speak unexpectedly. And yeah, that's what we call the speaking trap. When the pressure's on, our brain gets so focused on getting the answer right that we totally fail to actually be effective. The biggest obstacle in our way, well, it's usually our own mind. And let's be super clear, if this sounds like you're in good company. A staggering 85% of people report feeling nervous about public speaking. So the goal isn't to somehow eliminate anxiety. That's not going to happen. The goal is to manage it. Think of it this way. Anxiety tells us that what we're doing is important. It gives us energy. We just need to learn how to channel it. So how do we do that? Well, the first and most powerful way to manage that energy is with a fundamental mindset shift. It's all about reframing how you see the entire situation. Think about it this way. When we see speaking as a performance, we create this immense pressure on ourselves to get it right. There's a right way and a wrong way. But what if we shift our mindset to seeing it as a conversation? Then it's just a simple dialogue. The pressure just melts away because you're no longer performing for people, you're just talking with them. Okay, so how do we actually do that? 2 really simple tricks. First, start asking questions. Questions are naturally conversational. They bring the audience in with you. Second, use inclusive language. So instead of a distant, formal, "one must consider," try "we need to think about," or "here's why this is important for you." It's a tiny change, but it makes a huge difference. So with that conversational mindset as our foundation, let's build on it with a simple, actionable method. This is your go-to framework for any spontaneous speaking situation. All right, here's the roadmap. There are 4 steps. First, you've got to get out of your own way. Second, see the situation as an opportunity. Third, and this is a big one, truly listen. And fourth, structure your response. Let's break these down one by one. Step 1 is all about battling that inner critic. You know, a lot of us are what you might call type A personalities. We're driven, we're ambitious, we want to get things right. But that desire for perfection, that's exactly what causes us to freeze up in a spontaneous moment. Improv comedians have this brilliant rule for this: dare to be dull. It sounds completely backwards, right? But by giving yourself permission to not be brilliant, you take all the pressure off. And ironically, when you're not trying so hard to be great, that's often when the really great ideas just show up. And that leads us perfectly into step 2. When your boss asks for your opinion, you have a choice. You can see it as a threat, a test you might fail, or you can see it as an opportunity, a chance to add value, to clarify, and to contribute. That simple reframe changes everything. You've probably heard of the classic improv phrase, yes, and it perfectly captures this mindset. It's all about being open, about adding to the conversation. It's the total opposite of a defensive no, but, which just shuts everything down. Approaching a situation with a yes and attitude keeps you open, collaborative, and in the moment. Now, step 3, this one might be the most overlooked, but it is absolutely crucial. Before you can give a good answer, you have to really understand the question. So often, we're so eager to respond that we listen just enough to get the gist, and then we spend the rest of the time planning what we're going to say. We need to stop. As the saying goes, don't just do something, stand there. Just listen. And that brings us to the final and maybe the most powerful step of all, structure. Think about it. When you're trying to figure out what to say and how to say it at the exact same time, your brain it overloads. Having a structure handles the how, which frees up all that mental energy to focus on the what. And this, my friends, brings us to your secret weapon, structure.
These are basically pre-built frameworks you can pull out of your back pocket to organize your thoughts on the fly. They give you instant clarity and confidence. And this isn't just a nice idea, it's actually science. Research shows that our brains process structured information about 40% more effectively and efficiently. I mean, think about it. It's the whole reason we chunk phone numbers into 3 parts, right? Structure just makes information stick. So here are 2 of the most useful go-to structures you can use. First up, problem solution benefit. This one's perfect for persuasion. For example, the problem is our team is burning out. My solution is to implement a 4-day workweek. The benefit will be a huge boost in productivity and morale. See how clean that is? Okay, the second one is what, so what, now what? This is your best friend for giving updates or answering questions. Here's what the latest data shows. Here's so what, why it matters to our project, and here's now what we need to do next. And all of this leads us to this kind of fascinating paradox. Because having these frameworks, these structures in your back pocket, well, that's the real key to unlocking truly spontaneous and authentic communication. It sounds like a contradiction, but it is 100% true. Structure doesn't confine you, it liberates you. It takes away the heavy cognitive load of trying to organize your thoughts in the moment. And that allows you to be present, creative, and clear. So the next time you're put on the spot, just remember this. It's not a threat, it's a conversation. It's an opportunity. Get out of your own way, really listen, and then use a simple structure to deliver your thoughts with confidence. So what conversation will you own next?